expressed on this program are not those of intellectualradio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is the power of forgiveness and love. We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive at 5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I talked about take steps to beat the holiday blues. Head on over to YouTube, type in Intellectual Radio, stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. Our quote of the day is, we cannot embrace God's forgiveness if we are so busy clinging to past wounds and nursing old grudges. And that quote is by T.D. Jakes. Our trending topic today is sponsored by Gloria Dotson with Mary Kay, and she is catering to all of your beauty needs from head to toe. All you have to do is go to marykay.com/GDOTSON and make sure that you tell her that Warriors Talk sent you. And here is your trending topic for today. According to Chicago's WLS, a car service driver was killed in a shooting on the west side on Sunday. Muhammad Al-Hajud, 39-year-old husband, a father of three, well-known and respected limo driver in the Chicago transportation community. Sunday night, police said he was shot and killed inside his vehicle. His brother Saddam is missing him, and he said he left too early and we didn't get enough time. Police said about 5:30 p.m., a witness saw Muhammad driving the vehicle, and then it came to a stop on the 1700 block of Lotus Avenue. The witness told police 4 male passengers were inside the vehicle. Then they heard shots and the 4 passengers got out and ran. Muhammad was shot multiple times, according to the police, and he died later at Loyola Hospital. Overnight, a small candlelight memorial was growing on the sidewalk to remember a man whose family described him as hardworking, a man who grew up in Jordan and lived in the Dunny neighborhood with his family. That is your trending topic for today. We are grateful for our sponsor. We have Emanuel Church of God in Christ with Pastor Michael Richardson, who has a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emanuel COGIC at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emanuel COGIC-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson. And we're from the Emanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And I am so grateful for my sponsors. Our special guest, our co-host today is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Hey, Lady ReShell. How are you?
I'm good. I like that color on you.
I love it. Look, I still wear my pink, even after October.
Yeah, we know breast cancer is 365, 24/7.
Absolutely.
So are you ready for this topic today?
No, I'm not, but yes.
Hey, Lisa, thank you for joining us. Make sure you guys like and share the show. Invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. And our topic is the power of forgiveness in love. Ooh, this is going to be kind of a hard topic. I don't think forgiveness is easy for not a lot of us. Not a lot of us. So let's talk about the definition of forgiveness. What is it? Forgiveness is a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance towards a person or group who has harmed you, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness. So this is saying that you should forgive regardless if the person deserves it or not. Just forgive them.
Make sure you leave this up throughout the show so we can reference back to what this says and what we know. So we can try to take this thing here apart, this little one right there. So yeah, in between the comments and stuff, yeah, just keep it flashing back on the screen. Yeah, we definitely going to need that.
Okay. One thing they say about forgiveness is misconception that forgiveness equals weakness. And I'm sure we all know some people who have had some bad stuff done to them, and they say, oh yeah, I forgave the person, or they with a person and we like, ooh, we know that person and cheated on her multiple times. We saw it, we told her, and she's right back with that person. Or it could be a friend, doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. But we all know somebody who we may have thought in our mind that by them forgiving somebody, we consider them as being weak. That's a weak person.
I don't think forgiveness is a sign of weakness. I think that forgiveness actually shows how stronger that you are, that you can allow yourself in the space of not letting that negativity back into your space. You're able to let it go. You're allowed to leave it alone and be, because all it's going to do is just eat at you if you don't let it go. And we say all the time that stress is what? Stress is one of the top killers in this nations that we live in. Don't stress over stuff that you can forgive somebody and move on. Or even if you forgive them, be cordial and just keep it moving, because you'll still stress yourself out.
I've always heard that forgiveness is for you, is not for the other person. So, you're holding on to it and I'm not going to forgive them. But then you're holding on to that bitterness inside of you versus you releasing it and saying, okay, I forgive you, and go about your business.
Right. Or, yeah, even if you don't tell them, as long as you know deep down in your heart what you did, that you forgave them so you can move on. Like you said, it's for you, Now, if they want to say, they're sorry and all, hey, that's good. Kudos to them. But it is for you. You want your peace. That's what the forgiveness is going to give you. It's going to bring you peace.
I heard, I think it was Steve Harvey that said, he was talking about people that don't forgive. It's like, it's about like taking poison, taking the poison, and you watching somebody, you think you taking the poison, but you think the other person gonna die from drinking the poison, but you the one that drunk it, you the one that's holding on to it, but you're trying to watch the other person thinking they're gonna die slowly from the poison that you are holding on to.
Right. You can't drink it. There's plenty enough murder shows on TV for you to figure out how to kill somebody without you killing yourself with the poison. I ain't seen enough of them. So yes, don't be poisoning yourself. It's some of the things that we argue for. It's not even worth it. People have to learn how to let go. Yes, I'm reading what you just put up. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting, nor does it mean condoning or excusing offenses. Absolutely. But I think people really emphasize that forgetting part. They don't forget. Even if they forget, they run that forget part to the ground.
I feel like if you forgive somebody, if you honestly forgive them, it doesn't mean, sometimes you're forgiving them because you say, oh, how did they come to that conclusion right away? You just forgave them. Like you didn't even have time to process what happened. I think a lot of times it's just giving that person grace. God give us grace every day. It's just giving that person grace to, okay, go on with your life. And you may still have to work through that part of leading up to forgiving them, but you may just give them the grace to go ahead and move on so that you can release them. It doesn't mean that you're going to forget about what happened, but it doesn't mean that you have to allow it to fester inside of you either.
Right. Well, just because the other person may have did an offense or, did something that wasn't to your liking, that also does not give you a license to then tread on them in such a manner that, now you're going to need forgiveness. They say 2 wrongs don't make a right. But if you're doing fractions, a negative times a negative equal positive.
I bring up infidelity. If you forgave somebody, then it shouldn't keep coming up every time y'all get into an argument, or every time they come home late, or every time you have some type of gut feeling. Then it's like they're being punished all over again. It's like at some point you got to be like, okay, we're gonna talk about everything and get it out, so that hopefully you got everything out and we won't have to keep bringing this up. But that person should not have to be asking for forgiveness over and over again every time you're triggered.
No, see, no. Now, this is what I said in the beginning of the show about the definition of forgiveness, but about what we know. We know in this day and age, a lot of people, they like to hit below the belt because they want to make you feel the same way. Like they are the superior and you are inferior to them. So they will bring it up, they will bring it back, and they will remind you about what you did in the past. It is, again, it's the never forget. They will not let it go. They will continue. Every argument that come up, it will be in the argument, I guarantee.
At some point, if you say you forgive that person, at some point you got to stop bringing it up. Or you got to say, I'm just not going to be able to forgive you for that. Or table past that.
You have to understand what I say about you and how I feel about you is 2 different things. I can say I can forgive you, but how I really feel, oh, you that low down, dirty, diggity dog. So, nah, it's never going to be let go. So instead of forgetting this, we need to teach a class on how to let go.
Okay, we could do that next Relationship Monday.
That'll be next year. Do you realize that today is the last relationship of the year? It's December. Wow. Next time it'll be January 1st if we're going to do the show because it's on a Monday.
It's going to be the 7th.
The following Monday. Yeah. It just feels like February already. And I said this at the beginning of the year. We're going to be saying Happy New Year just like that. And here we are.
Wow. Where did time go?
Time flies. And you know what? And I never really saw it when I was younger. But now that I've gotten older, now I see what they was talking about. It is happening so fast. And we're only given, lifespan is about 80, maybe 70, 80 or so?
70 for men, 76 for women. Because we always live. Wanda B, let's go. Wanda B says it's easier to forgive when people show remorse. As long as it's genuine remorse, though, because
Wanda B,
some people try to shut you up with the I'm so sorry. So if it's genuine, then yeah, I would say yeah.
Man, these Negroidians ain't genuine these days. They only care about themselves. They don't and my Chris Tucker, they don't give a I'm trying to tell you. It's like I did it, yeah, and what? My bad. Does that sound like I should be forgiven?
I think anybody has the capacity to forgive and forget. We do it all the time. Forgiveness is a choice. It's a decision. So we could do it. We just have to make the decision to forgive.
Well, guess what? Forgiveness, trust me, is not in the top 3 on a lot of people's lists when it comes to this whole thing, when it comes to arguing. They want to clap and they want to clap back, and soon they want to make you feel a certain way. I am sorry. Here at Warriors Talk, we are going to be 100 to finish off this year. Let's be real. That is not the way that it happens.
All right, relationship guru, Rizal. Forgiveness can help you repair a damaged relationship. It doesn't obligate you to reconcile with that person who harmed you or release them from any legal accountability. Do
Okay,
you
I could agree with that.
can you repair a relationship? Does it make
That's a
the
good one.
relationship stronger when you forgive someone?
But, in some instances, and it is rare, but there is a percentage, it's almost like when you are the father and you got that 99, there is a percentage there that sometimes things are broken apart so better things can come together. You just have to look at the bigger picture and think to yourself, why is it for what reason is it happening? It was already set in stone. It is written. God already has a plan on why he did what he did with whatever the whatever the argument or whatever it was that offended you or whatever the case. There was a reason. It was either to make you stronger or learn forgiveness.
Don't put this on God. We got free will. We have choices.
I'm not putting it on him.
We have choices that we make to do things for a lot of times our own selfish reasons.
We got his plans that he's given us.
Honestly, Rizal, how many people are following his plan? And Rizal is frozen right now. So when he thaws out,
There you go. You're back. Welcome back to Warriors Talk. What is going on with the internet tonight?
Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on, Rizal.
Okay, what's the next one?
Forgiveness can improve your mental and physical health. I think we kind of hit that at the beginning about the stress part, not holding
on. Yeah, I can agree with that. The physical health, I don't know if it's going to give me like muscles or not, but okay, if they say physical health, yeah, who is these people? Who is writing these things anyway? What do they know? When you forgave somebody, what physical health did you gain? Do you recall? Like, did your shoulders get broader? I don't know. The mental health, yes, because now that means you're thinking on a whole nother level. Again, you are searching for that peace, but physical health, I don't know about that.
Studies have found that the act of forgiveness can reap huge rewards for your health. These are the things: lowering your risk of heart attack, improve your cholesterol levels, sleep, reducing pain, lowering your blood pressure levels, anxiety, depression, stress, lowering all of those things. Only if you can forgive. Or as Rizal say, let go.
I'm kind of agreeing with that. Because you know what I've been doing lately, and I tried it on a trial basis. I have been getting such a good sleep. And I've been listening to it's an app, the sounds, like the rain and the water just splashing, and it puts me in a peaceful mindset, a place. And my sleep have gotten so much better because I'm not worrying about who's not liking me or who did what to me. I let all of that stuff go, and it's just me and the ocean and the stars, and we just out there just and I feel like I'm on cloud 21. I'm trying to tell you, it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, my body feels good when I wake up. I'm fully rested, all of those things. So yeah, so, come on, people, let's just all get together going into 2024 and forgive, let things go. Let's practice this humbleness, this peaceful thing.
Mm, okay. The next one said forgiveness can also help rebuild self-esteem.
Maybe. Yeah.
It depends on what, I think it depends on what it is. So if it's, I'm going back to infidelity, if someone's cheating, then you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Why he cheated or she stepped out on me? I guess I don't look the part, it could help you maybe going to the gym, watching what you eat, making yourself look more attractive, maybe in that sense.
Maybe it also can help, like, you know what? I was the bigger person. I was able to walk away. That made me feel good. That made, maybe I need to do this a little bit more often. So that's why I say, yeah, I can see forgiveness can also help rebuild your self-esteem. Because now it's placing me in a position that if I continue to do this, I will continue to feel better. I will continue to do better. And once you know better, then we all at peace. Peace, people, peace.
I can't with you today, Rizal. Why does forgiveness matter? Why does it matter? Why can't you just walk away and be like, oh, I'm cutting ties with that person, I'm done?
In the world we live in, that's what happens. They get a big middle finger and a FU, and they never speak with them again. So my thing is, whatever the odds get, you'd rather be mad at somebody for 20, 30 years than bringing communication to the table and say, hey, I didn't mean to offend you. I forgive you, or let's start this over again. They'd rather go that long and not speak and talk bad about them. I mean, dog them out like they was a junkyard, just dog them out, than rather say, hey, my bad, I forgive you. Or let's chop it up and see how we can bring, us back to where we was.
But what if you don't care to talk to them anymore? I mean, what if you've forgiven them and it's like, I just don't need that person. And you just remove yourself. Like
Right.
a lot of times I'm good at, I could shut it down and I could go on and not even think about it, and it's not that I didn't forgive you. 9 times out of 10, I probably told you what it was before I stopped talking to you. Before it happened, I've told you why it's getting ready to happen. And if you do this one more thing, I'm out.
Yep.
And at that point,
Now,
we're going to have a conversation because you already know
it,
what it is.
it definitely depends on the offense, on what you did to me, because there are people who I wish not to talk to today. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want them in my life. There's things in my head that I say about them that I wish would happen to them, and all kind of things. But for the ones who have made it, not on my bad side, I still try to be cordial. Like I said in the beginning, at least be cordial. Hey, hi. I don't even care how you're doing. Just hey, and keep it moving. Me not, I see you there. You see me here. You know where we stand. Let's keep going. Just keep it moving.
According to hopkinsmedicine.org, chronic anger puts you into a fight or flight mode, which results in numerous changes in your heart rate, your blood pressure, and your immune response. Ooh, let go of the anger.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of triggers in that thing for anger.
It says those changes increases your risk of depression, heart disease, diabetes, among those are just some of the conditions.
Probably what's wrong with my chest now.
It seems like unforgiveness is so unhealthy. However, if you forgive, it says it lowers your stress levels and it leads to improved health.
If you had to think about this world and this society now, what percentage out of 100 would you give to this society that they are using forgiveness?
I don't even know if I can answer that. I don't know. I think right now people are more concerned with themselves versus other
Okay.
people.
So, I mean, would you say 60% of the United States forgive, or 80% of the United States forgive, or 30% forgives?
Oh, that's low. I would probably go with
Yeah,
60.
well, the rest is chaos.
Mhm. I would probably go with 60.
You think that that many people?
I try to see the good in people. I always look for the good in people, so I would say 60.
Mm, for me, I just got to see people, and I see them for what they are.
Like I said, we all probably been in a situation to where we have been with somebody who have ticked us off or done something to us that we didn't like, and we had to forgive them, or they had to forgive us.
See,
So, um,
Nikki says 30%.
30%.
Thank you, Nikki. That means the rest of the world is in chaos. People ain't out there forgiving. They're not letting go. They remember exactly what you did. They can tell you what you did to them 2 weeks ago at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the corner of blah 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 street and Bloomfield Avenue, for wherever the case. They can tell you exactly what you did. They do not let things go.
My thing is, if you don't address it with the person, like if this person is important to you, then I would say sit down, address it, have a talk with them, and let them know how you felt they offended you. Because a lot of times it'd be like miscommunication. They'd be like, "Oh, I didn't even know. No, I didn't even mean that." And then you'd be like, "Yeah, that's what happened." It was like, "Why, girl? Why you didn't say anything? Like, I didn't even know you was feeling that way." Like a lot of times with communication is just so horrible with a lot of people. It's like a conversation will just take away the 30 years you stopped speaking to your brother or your sister, something from just like a little miscommunication. Sit down and have a talk with that person, let them know how you feel and how you think that they offended you, and give them a chance to say, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "Oh, girl, you needed that."
And I agree with you, but a lot of people can't handle the criticism. They feel as though that you're coming down on them pretty hard, and they can't take it. So communication is like out the door. Everything is rah 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 up in your face, and I'll do this. They don't have the mentality. Allow them to sit down and to communicate in a civil way, to hash things out, or to be able to forgive and understand. That is also important. You have to understand. I always say there's a what and there's a why. And look what you put up. Don't hold on to grudges and resentment.
Just just don't allow people to live in your head rent free. Don't do it. Don't do it. Release it. If you attempted to talk to them and they, for whatever reason, didn't want to, release it. Write it down in a letter and put it somewhere, and that's releasing. It's a way of releasing it from you. Don't hold on to it.
That's right. And you can always say you did everything that you could do to try to resolve the matter in the situation between you and the individual. If they wasn't a willing participant to sit down and understand where you coming from, then it's not on you anymore. That's on them. No longer let them disturb your peace. Now, if they going on and going on, now you're living in their head rent free because they keep talking about you. So that's something they have to deal with on their own. It's not you anymore.
Studies have found that some people are just naturally more forgiving.
That's a lot.
Consequently, they tend to be more satisfied with their lives, and they have less depression, anxiety, stress, anger, and hostility.
They're more satisfied with the lies. What'd you
With their
say?
life.
Oh, I thought you said
You
with
have
the lies. They're more satisfied with the lies.
I know people that are just naturally forgiving, and not you look at them like, what is wrong with you? But it's just their nature. And they do tend to be more happier. When you think about somebody who is harboring unforgiveness, they tend to be really just bitter, dark, and a lot of times you don't like coming around them.
Avoid them at all costs. Understandable. I mean, but you thinking about you thinking about your peace. Like, why am I going to go into the lion's den? I didn't, why? I'm going to stay away because I want my peace and I want to stay alive.
Oh, Kenya, you
Hey,
could.
Kenya, better late than never, Kenya.
Okay. So what would you say is the process for forgiving, or should I say rebuilding that trust after you have forgiven someone? Like, what would you think the steps would be?
What do I think the process of forgiving? I think the first thing is to understand, well, first play back what happened. And like I said, play back what happened, try to understand why it happened. And then, hey, try to talk to that person, let them know where you stand and why you're doing this, and say, hey, I'm sorry, you have my forgiveness, or whatever the case. And, from that point, it's like a woosa. It's a, like a big exhale that happened. So that's off your chest. You won't go to sleep with it. So you'll be good, not thinking about it like, man, I should have did this. I should have did that. No, take the time and, do it. The sooner you do it, the better you feel.
Yes, I believe that the sooner you do it, the better, because you won't allow it to fester. And I would say one thing is to process it yourself before you talk to the other person, because it could be just you overreacting. And don't talk to other people before you approach that person, because then you have other opinions. And then next thing you know, that person, they have that person being just the worst person in the world. And now your opinion of what happened probably changed because you done got other people in your ear. So, but I
Right.
agree with resolve it quickly, not allowing it to fester and to grow
Right.
into something that it could be harder to come back from.
Now, the rebuilding trust part, that all depends on what you did. That could be that could be hard. I may not trust you anymore. So that part, I don't know about that part. That's for me. That's the opinions of Biz and Biz alone. Nothing to do with Warriors Talk Radio.
I would say it could be steps that you could put in place if you want to salvage their relationship. And a lot of times we forgive people because we don't want to be out of the relationship. So we'll forgive them, staying in that situation, hoping that the person will get better or whatever.
See, I understand that you're looking at it from a relationship. That's like if me and you are in a relationship, you forgive. But I'm looking at like the relationship outside of that. I'm thinking about the relationship with my brother, my sister, my friend, aunt, a whole bunch of different, things. And I'm trying to do the overall calculation in my head of, how much would I say? How much would I give? Would I want them back? How deep did they cut me? It may be down to the marrow, and there could be no coming back from. There's no more trust there left to rebuild anything.
I mean, this is for any relationship. And if you want it to be back, or you want to try to fix the relationship and move on, it could work for any relationship. I believe you would have to, like you said, assess the situation. And there have been some relationships in my life to where I assess the situation. I decide that I could care less if this person is in my life or not. Like, I'm going to be okay without them, and I'll move on without them. There have been instances where I have gotten into it with somebody, and I was cut really bad, and that person, we had some time apart, and then that person and I decided that we were too important to each other to be close. So we decided to do what was necessary to be close, and it's working. So I think it just depends on the person, how they feel, and if they want to so-called get back in your good graces. If that's what you want, then you have to really allow them to have that honest new beginning.
Right. It's the mentality. It's like, having a rhythm. You got to be, you both got to be on one accord about things. You got to have a rhythm. You got to be on beat with each other, because honestly, whatever offense happened probably might not have happened if you were both on the same page. You both were on the same rhythm. So we've been taught that's the right thing to do.
Devon said we forgive because we were taught that that's the right thing to do. And that's what they say in the Bible. It says, what? Forgive your brother how many times? 70 times 7? That means
77.
You always forgiven that person. You forgiven. Now, you forgive them. I think we mentioned it at the beginning that just because you forgive somebody, if they're cheating on you, you don't necessarily have to continue to take them back. If they're beating on you, it doesn't necessarily have to stay with them. You can forgive people and they don't have to be attached to you or associated with you.
Well, honestly, I don't know if I agree totally with Devon, because even though he said we forgive because we've been taught that's the right thing to do. But I can remember growing up, and I've heard plenty people say, if they hit you, you hit them back. That's what I was taught. It wasn't anything about forgiveness. It was an eye for eye. It was a tooth for a tooth back then. We didn't learn to start the forgiveness part until later on. And that all depends on, again, the mentality of what you saw growing up. Sometimes the conditions of where you lived, it all played a toll. So we didn't learn to start forgiving until later on, because we realized, you know what? We too old. I don't have to be bothered. I got my own. I don't have to be here. I don't have to be there. All I got to do is stay black and die.
Okay, so what does the Bible say about forgiveness? So the Bible says, if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. It also says, as the Lord has forgiven you, so you must forgive. And then in Luke 6:37, it says, do not judge and you will not be judged. Do not condemn and you will not be condemned. Forgive and you will be forgiven.
It also say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Don't leave out that part. That's in there.
It says turn the other cheek. It doesn't, this violence that Rizal is on right now. Hey, Tracy.
I am not being violent. I'm just saying, Cadillac wheels.
I would say if you have the mentality of an eye for eye, you did this to me and now I'm going to do this to you, I feel like you should just leave that situation, because that means you are incapable of forgiving that person for that situation. I would rather you just leave than to try to torture me or punish me. That's what I would do. If I know that I can't forgive you, then I'm going to step out of that situation and say, you know what, this is not going to work for me. I cannot, I'm incapable, or I choose not to, because forgiveness is a choice. I choose not to forgive you. So move on. Don't be there calculating and torturing that person and they walking on eggshells, because eventually they're going to get tired. They're going to resent you and they're going to leave. They're going to continue to do whatever it was that they did to get you to that spot to where you had to forgive them. Treat people like you want to be treated. That's what I say.
That's true. But it doesn't always work out like that.
If you have that mindset.
And that is true. And that was my whole thing about the mindset that we saw and that we were giving growing up. That's why I said, my parents said, if somebody hit you, you hit them back. And I've heard it from plenty other parents. So if that was my mindset that I was given, until I grew up, is when I really started to become my own person. But sometimes you have people who stay stuck in that mindset is I got to get you before you get me. It's always, it's always different, especially these different walks of life,
Yeah. Devon says forgiveness is nothing more than a way of controlling and suppressing feelings. It's normally those who have done the wrong that wants you to forget. That is so true. And they want you to hurry up and get over it. Why are you still talking about this? That I did that 6 months ago. Like, you cannot determine when my process of healing is over. You can't. So that's very true.
Well, maybe you keep bringing it up in conversation. Maybe when we argue that you still telling me about it.
If I'm still bringing it up, that means it's still an issue. That means that wound is still open. It hasn't healed yet. And if you're choosing to stay here, then you're choosing to be here until I heal. And if you have to hear it, then you have to hear it.
So let's say you fighting with the person is, how can I say this?
I'll
come back to it.
You won't be arguing by yourself.
I'll come back to it.
I'm not about to be arguing. The younger me would probably argue, cuss you out, and the more mature me is silent. I'm silent.
That's what I'm saying. As we got older, we learned about forgiveness and all of those things when we got older. But as we were younger,
I tell my kids, though, Rizal, if somebody hit you and you at school, go and tell the teacher. Do not hit back, because once you hit back, then you both will be in trouble. And so now the person that initiated it is not going to get in trouble because you hit back. If they hit you, you go tell the teacher, so-and-so just hit me. Now that person has to suffer the consequences of hitting you. Now, if the teacher don't take care of it and the incident happen again, then yeah, you defend yourself. Defend yourself, not just be a punching bag for somebody.
You also have to understand the ones who used to tell us, about nonviolent, the grandmothers and all of them who would tell us, forgive and let go and all. We don't have like grandmothers like that anymore. The grandmas these days, they're in the club dropping it like it's hot. They still out there living their best life like they in their 20s. We don't have too many people like that to teach us and show us about forgiveness like that.
Does it mean that anymore? They're not forgivers because they're dropping it like it's hot? Maybe that's their way of releasing stress is at the club. That don't mean that they're not, but don't be judging.
Oh, I ain't saying nothing is wrong with it, but I'm just trying to say. So if they at the club dropping it like it's hot, I'm quite sure the nature of where they are, they're seeing a lot of things, with alcohol and this and that comes a lot of negativity. They be ready to pop off. They're not in the mindset of, let me be peace. Let me be humble. They probably got their girlfriends with them. The girlfriends is amping them up. Let's fight. Let's get into it. Trust me, I see it. You've been doing your kumbaya for some years now, but I'll be dibbling and dabbling back and forth, and I'll be hearing the stories. I'll be seeing it, and again, this is all experience. I'm trying to tell you.
No, you in the motorcycle club. We had our clubbing days. Right. Yeah.
I had the door open today. It's mad mosquitoes trying to attack me today. Exactly. Yeah, matter of fact, I was at one Saturday. It was peaceful. It wasn't like, like how it used to be. That game unchanged a whole lot now. And I got a decision that I need to make. I may talk to you after the show about it, but.
Hey, Jakina. Thank you for joining us. We were talking about the power of forgiveness and love. Rizal, I know you have some amazing words of wisdom that you're going to leave with the people as we wrap up.
I did have a thought. What was I going to say to you? What is my words of wisdom? Damn, I should have wrote it down. Thanks, ReShell. You made me forget.
You can always come off the top of your dome. You always have something stashed.
No, but I wanted to make sense with the topic.
Okay.
That's why. Um,
Well, my
what
words
did I
of
say?
wisdom thinking is you cannot get well in a place that makes you sick.
Ooh, that was good. I don't even think I can come back behind that one. You did good, Grasshopper.
This is the last comment of the show. It says time is definitely different, and people today, you really have to think your options. You have to think your options through. Wow. All right, Red. Think your options through. Hey, Mona.
Absolutely, because you never know. There it is. You never know what the person is going through. So,
Yes. Jagnice, she said you have to give the same grace you want to be given. I
shout out to
totally
all the new people showing and popping up.
agree.
We got some new
Yeah,
listeners. I love it. I love it.
these are not new people. These are my people.
I don't remember
Mona.
seeing Jakina Denise.
Yeah, Jakina, she did the panel with us for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Yes. All right, let me try to read this with my public high school education. Hey, Danielle. She said, what is missing? What we're missing with the younger grandmothers is the wisdom and knowledge taught by our elders that they have not been passed down to the younger generation. This world have groomed a different generation.
That's what
Wow.
I'm saying. That's what I said.
Wow. They are totally different.
That's what I
Totally
said.
different.
Oh, you gonna give her kudos, but not
No,
give me kudos?
no, I know that they're totally different, but I'm saying because they're in a club shaking their butt, it doesn't mean that they don't have wisdom. That's what I was saying. No, but I agree with that, Danielle. Jagni says she agree with it, and Mona says she agree with it. All right, guys, we got to go before they kick us off the air. But don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Stay right here on Intellectual Radio, because coming up at 7 p.m. is the People Show with Charles Thomas and Marco Wallace.
Enjoy the end of 2023.
I'm going to ask that you come back next Monday at 6 p.m. right here on Intellectual Radio. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is Rizal, a.k.a. The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.
Thank you.